Welcome back, one and all, to the Horror Returns. I'm Lance. With me, as always, we got Philip back from last week. How's it going, Philip?
Good.
Good
How
to
you
see
guys
you,
doing?
man.
Yeah.
We're good. Was Rose's birthday a success?
Yeah, I mean, more or less. We didn't do a whole lot. We got our car fixed, but you know.
Hey, that's
Success.
a hell of a... Brian is back. As every fucking week, Brian is back. The glue that holds this podcast together. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm barely here. I'm sick today, but I'm
Oh,
still
But you're
here.
here. You're here. You're here. And from the Geekz, returning champion, Steve Carlton. What's going on?
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me. I heard you were doing a little religious horror, so thank you for the
Yes.
invite.
All right, man. What's up with the Geekz? Fill us in. What are you guys up to?
Well, we just did our 31 days of horror that ended but didn't end because we still have many movies to put out. We recorded way more than 31. We had some
Brian.
lost episodes from last year we didn't put out. But we're still watching them. Like, we're doing 3 more
Right.
movies this week because we're just having fun watching all the horror movies. So we're doing that.
Did I miss something, or did you guys not do a spoiler? Did y'all forget to do a spoiler alert for Lowlifes when you started getting into? Because after
we did
the
it
first
right.
5 minutes.
We did it right in the beginning. It was pretty
Okay.
early in the show.
All right.
It was like,
makes
okay,
sense.
we have to talk about it. It's gonna happen. Yeah, it's
Right.
we definitely spoil everything. Don't listen to it if you haven't watched it yet.
That's the
But-
fun part.
But you guys watched Low Lives after. I mean, I love that movie. You guys talked a little bit about it on your 31 days, but I didn't really you didn't go too much into it. So what do you think?
Brian?
I loved it. It was a surprise, especially
trailer.
for a Tubi
Mhm.
movie. But
Did you
I feel like Tubi's stepping it up though lately.
100%. I love Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi rules. Did you watch the
They got
trailer for the movie?
No,
If you watch the trailer, it makes the movie even better because the trailer cuts it as like what you think the movie
What you
starts
think
as.
it-
The family, the fucking psycho family in the woods and the real good family. It cuts it like a traditional movie. So it's wild. The trailer is a complete other twist. It's really good.
So anybody listening that hasn't seen Lowlifes on Tubi, high recommend all around.
Hmm
yeah,
I haven't watched it. I got to see it.
Come on, man.
I know,
we,
man.
We
Low
can't say
Lives
any more than.
rules.
No, I've got a few things on my list now. The Substance apparently is very good, and I haven't seen that one.
Me neither. It's on my list.
Yeah.
It's a long movie. It's like
Is it?
It is.
It's a
Yes,
commitment.
I have no idea what it even is. I've heard of it, but that's it.
Got my hair sticking up here.
Well, it's a
Gotta
good thing
put
this is
my
an audio
finger in
show.
the socket.
What else? We're still doing the Star Geeks on Wednesdays. Last week they did the music of John Williams, and then this week I think we're doing like a deep dive on bounty hunters. So still doing the Star Wars thing over there, and then
Nice.
the Geeks is just the Geeks. Just we talk about what we talk about. Bunch of tape talk. I've come up on a whole bunch of tapes over the last couple of weeks. I drove out to some sketchy ass lady's house in the middle of nowhere
What?
at night. Well, like it's night, but it was like 7, but or it was
Okay.
actually like 6, but like it's super dark already. But like she's like, "Oh, go down the road. It'll get to a dirt road, but keep going." And like it got to a dirt road and kept going. But she said she had bins and bins of VHS for free, so I'm like, it's worth the risk. I ended up like she didn't want to give me the bins, so I just had to like dump them into my car. The whole
No
back
shit.
of my car was filled with tapes.
I'll sell you the tapes, boy, but you ain't
Yeah.
getting my bands.
It was a bunch of crap, but I did get like probably about 50 or 60 good tapes out of there, including Predator
Nice.
2, which has been something on my freaking hunt list for a long time. So, yeah, so that was pretty cool. And like this one,
Trip, huh?
I picked up this one too, like this cool Red Dawn with like this Russian writing on the front. Like,
Oh, yeah.
freaking
Okay.
sweet. And then also like the Jaws special edition with like a interview with
nice.
Steven
That's worth
Spielberg. So
That's worth some money right there.
I got some cool stuff. cool stuff. Also, gotta add a little some of the movies that made a young man who he is today.
Some Paul Verhoeven going there, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of tape stuff. Well, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. You know how we start it, man. Cool of the week. What you got?
So I finally saw Terrifier 3. I know you guys did your review on it. I think my ranking for that's gonna probably go for the series would go 2, 1, 3. Even though I still really liked 3. But like almost at times I felt like it was too much. I'm like one character got killed off screen and I was like, oh, thank God. Just give me a breather. God damn.
Right.
It's just so much. It's 2.5 hours of killing. And a lot of
much.
Which no complaints, but I feel like 2 was the better overall movie, like kill to story ratio. And then this one's cool though. It started dipping into the religious shit towards the end. I was like, uh-oh, are we going somewhere where I'm more comfortable? I like this.
Right.
So that was really cool. Not my cool of the week, but that was up there. Did you guys see Mr. Crockett on Hulu?
Yes. Yeah. Liked it.
Very cool practical effect movie. Very, very good. Not my cool of the week. The cool of the week goes to Die Alone, which is a little movie that I watched. It's out there. You can find it. I'm not sure where it's streaming, but it stars Frank Grillo and Carrie-Anne Moss. And this is like a zombie movie, but it's more drama, I would say, than horror. There are some zombies. There's some motherfuckers get eaten, but that's not the point. Like the point is trying to unravel this one character and why he can't remember shit every day. He has to reset his memory, and then when you get down to like who people are and what the story is, it's devastating and fucking heartbreaking and fucked up, and it's a really, really, really good movie with a sweet ending and very, very good. So high praise in my cool of the week is definitely going to Die Alone. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say also Hysteria, which I'll be finishing tonight after we're done recording the show on Peacock. The Peacock original Hysteria is phenomenal. Bruce Campbell's killing it, and Julie Bowen is also awesome, the mom from Modern Family. So both of those are very, very good. Check them out. And that's it for me.
That's a lot. That's a lot, man. You always bring your game. But Philip, you should have at least 2 weeks worth now, right?
Yeah, I've actually got a couple things. So I watched a couple of weird time travel movies. I was off on a Netflix kick. One of them was damn it, I can't even remember the name. Time Cut. It's like teenage.
Saw that.
Yeah, teenage time travel slasher. Basically,
it's its own subgenre, Philip.
It's as cheesy. It's as cheesy as you would think it is. I mean, it's a fun watch, but
the dialogue made me throw in the towel 10 minutes in. I was like, I don't want to watch this.
I don't blame you.
Was it that bad, Steve?
It's very.
I'm like, I don't know what any of these words mean.
I'm very young for
this. I'm out. I don't like any of these people.
And then I watched Predestination, which I had never seen before, with Ethan Hawke.
Yep.
And the chick from Succession, the redheaded girl.
Okay.
And that one was pretty interesting.
Oh, that movie was fucked up.
I don't know about
it was very
it was very fucked up. It was definitely a mind fucked. Apparently it's a short story from like the 50s as like a thought experiment.
Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, and I hate to give too much of it away. But very interesting personal story of one particular person, sort of.
I'm pretty sure there's country songs written about
this
scenario in particular.
I'm my own grandpa coming.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
Which is a song that gets sang in the movie.
No.
Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah. He's like humming it as he's walking along. Ethan Hawke.
It's a crazy movie.
Yeah,
it was in Meet the Feebles, right?
Great performances. Not quite as sci-fi or action-packed, but interesting.
Okay.
So, it was worth it. But my cool of the week is gonna go. I think it's called It's What's Inside.
That sounds familiar.
It's-
Yeah, that's the Netflix movie. Brian, we both
Yes.
saw it.
Okay. It was very bodies, like these
Yep.
old high school friends get together, and but like one guy is like a super genius, and he's got this suitcase where he can like hook electrodes to your head and you switch bodies. And so they're playing this game to figure out whose mind is in which body. And
Very
of
cool
course,
concept.
yeah,
Cool
it is.
concept,
It's
yeah.
a very cool concept. And of course, they're all young and hot, so they end up all fucking each other.
I
And
hated
Oh.
every one of
All
the
of 'em.
people in the movie.
oh yeah,
Everyone.
they're all
Brian
Except for the
wasn't a
girl that
fan.
comes in at the end, who's actually not the girl, it's the guy. But, you know,
and I don't think this is giving it too much away, but like a couple of them die, and then they're like,
Right.
while they're out of each other's bodies, and
Oh,
so they're
yeah.
not like, yeah, so they're like, oh shit, now what do we do?
that was
And
a
it turns
cool
into a whole
moment.
thing.
Like it definitely. I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, oh shit, what are they gonna fucking do? Like,
Yeah.
what would you do if you're like, oh, let's switch bodies, and you're
I know.
looking at yourself, and then you die. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, now
Well,
I'm
I
just this
probably
person
wouldn't be,
forever.
like-
What the fuck? Terrible.
Ripping a blunt, taking a shot, and being like, yeah, man, let's try some new technology where we go into each
Like-
other's bodies. That sounds like a fun fucking party game.
What
Like,
could go
because
wrong?
it's not like you're just now you have to take on that person's whole life.
Yeah.
Who are they messed up with? You know, what drama do
Right.
they got going? What is their job? No, their job sucks. Like, oh no.
But that one was a fun movie. That's gonna be my cool of the week, I think,
Cool.
out of those three. Although Predestination is a runner up there. It was pretty good.
I kind of enjoyed it. Philip, Brian wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
It was
but-
like bodies, but different.
Got a
Is
sidekick on the
is
Geekz.
exactly what
Got a
that movie was.
sidekick on the Geekz.
That's a good if you want to pair it to make a double feature
Yeah.
because it had the same tone. Except I felt bodies. Those characters were a little bit more likable.
Very much.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Gotta-
everybody was kind of shitty in this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Which- You know, means you didn't really care when they die or whatever.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the concept. All right, Brian, what you got?
I had no time for nothing, but
Okay.
me and my daughter, we did binge all 3 seasons of Young Rock. It was
Wow.
All right.
quick, easy. It got me to reminisce about the old wrestling days.
Young
yeah.
Rock. Where is that?
Yeah.
It's on Peacock.
right? Yeah,
Oh,
I remember
okay.
Nez talking about it.
Yeah. He's the stories are true, but the current timeline is fictional because he's running for president and he's
Okay.
doing his campaign, so he's like telling stories that relate to like certain things during his campaign, and it's just nice seeing like the old days and stuff you didn't know, like how close he was. I knew his father and his grandfather were wrestlers, but just the people that he hung around with as a child, like Andre the Giant
Mm-hmm.
and Macho Man, like these were people that were like closely with him as a child.
Yeah, he was born for this.
And it's sad that
they show up, Brian, or people playing them show up, or the real.
Well, Andre can't show up because he died a long time ago, Lance.
Okay.
And Macho
Well,
Man died.
Again, wrestling.
Iron Sheik died.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair are still alive, but
Oh, they're
They
not
are.
not the actual people, but they show up too.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It is-
there's a lot of deaths in the wrestling era. A lot of drugs and steroids. They don't mix well together.
And it's a shame that the show got canceled after 3 seasons because season 3 ended off when he got the role in The Mummy Returns. So right when his acting career
Okay.
was about to take off.
That's
And
when they that sucks.
no Vince McMahon slander on this show.
So I really want to watch the Vince McMahon thing on Netflix. Is it any good?
I haven't watched it because someone told me it's nothing you haven't really heard
Okay.
as far as like the stuff, the negative stuff about him.
Is that what it
Probably
is?
already-
Is it a hit piece on Vince?
I don't
Vince's
know.
life is a hit piece on Vince.
Oh,
I watched
he's-
wrestling in the Attitude Era, and I knew back then, I was like, he's going to jail at some point.
Oh, he's
Somebody's going to jail.
He's cooked because I think it was today or yesterday more females came out with allegations toward him,
Oh, well, I guess that doesn't
and
totally
they're
surprise me.
slowly
You're not shocked.
every week there seems to be more and more.
Stacy
coming out.
Keebler's whole character arc was that she was his sexually like harassed secretary. That was her character.
You remember the
Just
Trish
for kicks,
Stratus days when he
Mhm.
had her strip and bark like a dog in the ring?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or when they ripped
Jesus
yeah, I
Christ.
do definitely
shit off on
remember
pay-per-view. Yeah.
that.
So
We
that-
knew back then, man. Just nobody wanted to say
Yeah.
anything, but we all knew.
and
We
now
all still clapped and paid the bills.
now his wife's in a little trouble too because there's allegations that she helped cover up some of these incidents.
Sure.
So, but Vince McMahon's a whole another podcast.
Yes, the wrestling returns. Coming back when, Brian?
Whenever I find the time,
Okay.
we haven't done Stream Fiends since early
It's
this
been a
year.
minute.
So.
Not like we get fucking paid for this shit.
Exactly. Exactly.
But that's all I had time for was Young Rock. It's quick watch, fun,
Sure.
going down memory lane. My daughter had a lot of questions about because she's slowly not a wrestling fan, but she does watch the new stuff with me, and she does have questions every now and then. And she was familiar with certain characters like Andre the Giant because she knows like the what was it, the Princess Bride?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
The Princess Bride.
she knows him from that. So to see like a different side of him on the show, because he's probably one of my favorite recurring characters on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds like a fun watch, man. Just binging through the seasons quickly. How many episodes a season?
Oh, really 10,
Okay.
maybe a little bit more. It's not long. They're like 30-40 minute episodes, if that.
Well, they aired on network TV, right?
Yeah.
So then, yeah, they're probably, you take out the commercial breaks, you're probably looking at 25-minute
minutes,
episodes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So Young Rock. All right.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna do a 2 for Brian because last week I think mine. What was it last week that mine was Tulsa King?
Yep.
All right. I was considering Tulsa King season 2 because all the crazy, ridiculous, outlandish Sons of Anarchy shit that happened in the first season, like doubles or triples in this one. But I'll lay that aside, Brian.
I haven't gotten all the way through season 2 yet, but it's a great
You
show.
haven't? Yeah.
No.
We're working on it. We're working on it, Philip. But
Well, it's not
everyone-
over yet, is it right?
we're
Is
on like
season-
episode 4, but there's like 1 or 2 more that still need to air, right? I think so.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait and binge it.
I think we're getting there.
I haven't started season 2 yet.
Yeah, well, it's you remember how outlandish number 1 was, like some of the shit they got away with, and like you remember Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
So
course.
you know the storylines. Just like I said, double it in that season 2.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
I shot that cop in the face.
and got away with it.
Yeah.
It's good, clean fun, but also good, clean fun, guys. I finally finished the first arc of what Brian told me is going to be a 3-part arc, and that's the part 1 of Cobra Kai, the final season.
Just in
So
time.
good.
This movie
So
is so, again, silly and outrageous, but you just can't fucking stop watching. Like I got to that scene where what's the character's name that was the bad coach? Help me out here.
Which
Crease.
one?
Yeah, Kreese. Yeah, Kreese. Where he went over, I guess, to China, and he was trying to recruit the the players to be on his team, or the players. I'm out of touch with wrestling.
Yeah, that
anyway.
one dude in China beat the brakes off of them other kids out by the fires, those little
Oh
bonfires.
yeah, the
Holy
one
shit.
that the one you don't have discipline, you don't have respect, you're number one. Shouldn't have said it like that, but anyway,
Yeah, what are you doing?
let's see
here?
where they sent Kreese into the cave and he came out with that fucking cobra.
Oh yeah.
Cobra.
Jesus
He can
Christ,
barely walk. That guy.
Did he punch it like Van Damme?
But like, what I like about the show is that like people just randomly, spontaneously jump into fighting karate, like in the streets, in the fucking bowling alley, like karate fight, bam. It's like it's just something that happens. Like I want to live in this town. I don't want to live where I got like homeless people hitting me up and trying to break into my work truck.
Yeah.
I want to live where people have like karate fights on the street, and then we go
happens
separate ways.
Everywhere. There's a scene where they're going to a frat party, and
Oh
karate
yes.
And that was one of the best karate fights ever.
In line at the gas station, karate fight.
Karate fights in the woods. Karate fights everywhere. Karate fights in the batting cages. Karate fight central. I love it.
Yes.
And if you know martial arts in this town, you're like a legend.
Oh, you're the best.
automatically.
That's right. People
Because
go out of their- out of their
Johnny's
way to
Johnny's
help you.
trying to buy a house and immediately gets recognized.
Oh,
You're
Yes.
Johnny
You
Horse.
run the All
You're
Valley.
Johnny.
The All Valley. Like you run this thing like in
40
real life.
fucking years
the
ago.
only people in the
Literally.
audience were the parents of the kids that were fighting. That was the only people. In that movie, the whole fucking county was in that audience. Like
I know.
grandparents. Oh my god, it was wild.
Yeah,
I
well,
love
fuck,
it,
shit.
but I love
Half
it so
the-
much.
Half the actors of the show are grandparents, right? Hell, Kreese may be a great grandparent, right?
I love that
Oh.
somehow people like Dimitri
Right.
are the best in the country that are going
Isn't
to
that
fucking
nuts?
Brazil to go find like this motherfucker right
Fucking
here.
Dungeons and Dragons nerd turned karate champ.
I love it though. It gives me
It's awesome.
it gives me Power Rangers vibes. It's striking all those chords. They're just missing the suits really, but all the drama's there, and it's better than it has any right to be, and it plays with all those characters so well. It knows what it is. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but then it does. Then it's like, we're gonna pull out a sword and threaten to stab a motherfucker. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Or
Like,
some
we're
kid's
gonna kick this
fall in-
kid off of a fucking ledge and he's gonna break
Exactly.
his fucking back. Like, oh my god. So it does take some risks. I love the show. It's very, very good.
All right. Cool of the week. Cobra Kai. Brian, you got any horror headlines for us?
Yeah, I got some. Let's see. Andre Overdahl. You guys know him. He's directed such movies as Troll Hunter, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Okay.
He is directing a film adaptation of the video game Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Oh, my kids love it. I don't know what the
Really?
fuck it is, but yeah.
Never heard of it. Never
It's
heard
like,
of it, Philip. I'm out of touch.
My kids play it too. It's like it looks almost like old Steamboat Willie style animation.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay.
all about like ink. Ink is like a problem. My son would know all about it, but it does have some very creep factors to it. But it's very cartoony, so I just wonder if it's going to be an animated movie or a.
Yeah, it's like the original version of Evil Mickey.
Yeah, it looks like it's something that was animated in like the 50s, like almost like
Yeah.
Cuphead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Let's see. Have you guys seen the horror comedy Black Sheep? To Kill a Sheep.
I've heard of it. I've never gotten around to that one. That's a Blind Spot movie.
I think I have.
David
Black
Barta,
Sheep.
if you're listening, that's one we haven't covered for the show. I know you're
Black
struggling
Sheep
to find
2
movies.
is currently in development.
Okay.
Sweet. More of
Okay.
what I haven't seen yet. I don't know what it's
No
about.
Chris Farley this time.
Not
Wrong
that
Black Sheep.
Oh, I've seen that Black Sheep.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that would wind up in horror headlines, but like, I'll watch that movie just to see the hill scene all the time.
Let's see. Mike P. Nelson. Lance, you know him from the Wrong Turn remake.
Right.
What else has he done? He's done VHS segments. The Domestics, we reviewed that
Oh
recently.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Philip, you remember that one? Where
Vaguely.
they were on the cross-country road trip in the post-apocalyptic world, and they had the different roving bands.
Is that the one where
right.
Superman and Lois Lane played in that movie? But they were both
Yes.
Superman and Lois Lane from different things.
Yes.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Mike P. Nelson is directing a Silent Night, Deadly Night remake or reboot.
I think we'll all be there.
And isn't that the one with the production house? Is the same cats that do the Terrifier movies
Yes.
for the effects house?
I
Oh,
believe
nice.
so.
Okay,
Very good.
we're in.
Now this is rumored. The Babadook writer and director Jennifer Kent is working on an adaptation of Clive Barker's The Thief of Always.
I've read everything he's written, but I couldn't tell you what that's about. I think wasn't that more of a fantasy leaning than horror leaning?
I
If I
don't know,
remember
Lance.
correctly.
You're the book guy.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You just
Yeah.
told us you
If
read
I
all his
recall.
work.
I was gonna say that one actually sounds familiar, but I
haven't
no
read
idea
it.
what it is.
I haven't, going back 40 years, Philip, you were talking about 40 years ago. I haven't read that one in about 30 or 40 years.
Let's see. Lucy Hale is set to star in the sci-fi thriller White Mars about an evil entity
Okay.
attacking a research facility in Antarctica.
Sounds familiar.
Awesome. I like all that. Anything
Yeah.
like that, The Thing, you
That
the
sounds
secluded horror, like because you have that extra element. Not only you have the monster or whatever entity, but
Right?
you can't just go outside. So
Yeah, that's true.
it just
That's
adds
true.
that, it just adds that extra element. Very good.
Antarctica's got a really cool mystery factor. I like it.
What the fuck is
Yeah.
over there?
Kind of like
I like
Anchorage,
it. Oh, man.
Alaska.
Maybe it's Atlantis.
Could
Maybe.
be.
What's past the wall, Phil? There's fucking trees over there, man. No.
There might be. I've read that.
Let's
That's
see.
the Hollow Earth thing. There's a big hole in
Yeah, that's a
Antarctica.
big theory.
Yeah, the little green kids came out from under there. There's a whole thing, man. You know,
Yeah. No,
telling you.
there's some legit journals written from a guy that like flew to Antarctica, and that's where the Hollow Earth theory comes from, like because
That
it's
makes
straight out
sense.
of his journals. Now he may be insane, which is what it sounds like.
Or he
But
was tripping.
Yeah, 'cause
maybe.
as you know, if it's written down on paper, it's the truth.
but he was like talking about flying Nazi spaceships. I don't know,
What?
man.
That sounds like
Craziness.
that dude.
Yeah,
might have
there's
fucking
some weird shit from Antarctica. And that was
on one.
that was
Sounds like-
from like a military guy that did missions there.
Right?
And I can't remember what his name is, but those are in his journals. It's some weird shit.
Sounds like it's interesting reading, at least, right?
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
love reading that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I love that stuff.
Let's see. Lil Rel. We all know who Lil Rel is.
Oh
We're
yeah.
familiar with
Oh
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
He is getting in the director's chair for a horror comedy, Haunted Heist, which he'll also star in with Tiffany Haddish.
Oh god. Okay, I'm in already.
I
How do you
like
feel
Tiffany.
about that, Brian?
Let's see. We reviewed the.
Brian's not a Tiffany Haddish fan.
No, I think she's overrated. She's like the same thing in every movie.
I guess
yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
I feel about like with Melissa McCarthy. They're like, oh, she's gonna be in it. I'm like, what's she gonna do?
Yeah,
fall
that's
down?
true.
Is she gonna fall down on something?
Right.
Kevin Hart.
She's gonna
just
fall
plays
down and
Kevin
her
Hart in
feet are
every
gonna
movie.
go up behind her. Like
Fair
she's gonna
enough.
make some.
I heard Kevin Hart's really good in that Peacock show. Was it Fight Night?
I haven't
I
seen
don't know.
that
I
one.
haven't seen it.
Haven't seen that.
He just got
Fight
like
Night?
super saturated for a while. Although
Yeah.
I do love his Hulu commercial where he's like talking shit to LeBron James.
Yeah, that's nasty. Raw pocket candy.
They want somebody that can run a 40, not somebody who is 40. That shit's funny.
Let's see here. Companion trailer we reviewed a few weeks ago from It's a movie from the team that brought us Barbarian.
Mm.
Okay.
Changed its release date to January 31st. Which, if I remember the original release date, it's only like a 2-week difference. So couldn't tell you what
That's
the movie's
exciting.
about because I was very confused. I was confused and intrigued all at the same time watching the trailer.
It's kind of like Barbarian, though. That trailer was
Yeah.
weird for Barbarian, and I did not. That movie was a ride, man. So
It was definitely right.
I'm excited for whatever he does next.
Let's see. He's actually, I can't remember what the movie's called, but he's doing one with Josh Brolin.
Oh. Like Josh Brolin.
It's like follow-up horror movie.
Okay.
Which originally was Pedro Pascal, but of course he had to drop out because he's going to be extremely busy.
He's in fucking everything.
Yeah, that seems to be the Pedro Pascal thing is like, well, he can't do this because he
But,
signed
you
up
know,
for something else.
But do it now.
Makes
Do it now
sense.
while the iron's
Yeah,
hot, man. Freaking,
That's true.
While you're getting all the roles, do it because it ain't gonna be there forever, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Make your
He's
money.
gonna-
Lock him
he's
down.
gonna be Reed Richards for a while. Come on.
he's got a very small part in Last of Us season 2. So if you played the video games,
Oh
you're
no!
all well
Spoilers. Spoilers.
I saw a meme where it was like he always plays this badass, but he looks like the guy that you forgot fell asleep on your couch.
Jesus.
Let's see what else we got. Kevin Bacon and his wife, Kyra Sedgwick. Did I pronounce that right? She's also an actress.
Kira.
They are set to direct and star in a horror comedy called Family Movie, which will also star their 2 children, Travis and Sosie Bacon.
Lots
all
of
the
children
bacon.
in the
Using the
darkness.
word children loosely.
Yeah, no kid. Well,
Sosie
offspring.
Bacon is like 30
offspring,
something.
right?
Well, I don't call my children offspring.
I call them the freeloaders.
Oh, that's good.
Only
That's good.
only the older ones.
What is it
see.
called? Family movie?
Family Movie.
Family movie.
That
huh?
sounds like Scary Movie, and it's gonna be garbage.
Oh, no, I bet it's gonna be good.
No,
I bet
it's
Well, maybe
not.
it's like
It's
a
gonna be
scary take.
a
What about that
shithole.
movie that just came out, like Here or whatever it is, with Tom
Uh-huh.
Hanks, where it's like the movie
That
takes
looks
place,
weird.
the
Oh,
whole
yeah, yeah.
movie
Yeah,
like takes
that
place from
trailer
like a
looks
picture
weird.
frame in the house or something. What if it's like that, like a movie like that,
Oh,
but horror?
All right.
You do it scary, so like all the crazy weird shit that happened in this house.
that could be cool.
That sounds cool, but that's probably what's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Probably.
no, probably not. And then I was excited when you said Kevin Bacon. I was like, ooh, more Tremors news? No.
That's what we keep
No.
thinking. Week
We're-
after
we're
week, we say it,
hoping.
Brian.
When's the last thing that Kevin Bacon was in that was really good?
The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Excellent.
All right, that's a one-off.
He was the main point of that whole thing.
He was in our very first review.
Yeah,
whatever
The Darkness.
that fucking
The Darkness,
stupid movie.
piece
That
of
was
shit.
That was
Yeah.
garbage.
We started
He
this
did-
whole thing with the darkness.
He
I
did.
know.
He
We
did that
did.
other movie, They/Them. Remember?
Ugh.
He also, let's not forget the one movie, I'm blanking on the name, but where he gets lost in the house.
Yeah, well, there's like an extra section of the house or some bullshit.
Ah.
Yeah.
The book was good. The book.
I
was
know
really,
it looked
really
like
good.
it was going
House
to be a
of
cool
Leaves.
movie,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't.
I guess. I mean, he was in Maxine. I didn't see that, so.
Was he in
Eh,
Maxine?
he was
Okay.
the private detective.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
He was doing an accent.
All right.
Yeah.
I was just
Okay,
looking
he
up
was
his
okay.
IMDb.
I gotta admit, he was okay in that.
I mean, maybe he's awesome in the Toxic Avenger, that movie that was never going to come out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
when are we
don't
gonna see
understand. It said it's too controversial to come out. That's what we want from a trauma movie.
that? No kidding.
Right.
It's
I
filmed
wanna see,
and done.
Tyrion Lannister as a toxic Avenger waddling after somebody as
Little
fast as he
toxic.
can.
I know
and
what's
it
his name.
sounds hilarious.
I know Peter Dinklage is getting tired of people asking about it. He's like, I just acted in
bet.
it. I'm not in control of who
Right.
releases it.
He also did a movie have you ever seen Cop Car from 2015?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yes, that was
Fucking
actually really
movie,
good.
man.
The
Yeah,
director that did Clown, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that movie was awesome too.
Yeah.
That movie was
that was good.
Kids do not fare well in that one. And then of course I'm a big fan of Death
it's a dark
Sentence,
one.
the James Wan
Yes.
movie. I love that movie a lot. I mean, the gang is like, what the fuck is this? Like this fucking
didn't-
weird
you
this
weren't-
gang of those stupid face
You
head
weren't,
tattoos.
you weren't
and his leather
intimidated by
jacket.
them?
I was not intimidated by Garrett Hedlund with a head tattoo. No.
John Goodman was more intimidating.
John
when he
Goodman
shows up.
ruled as the gun guy. He's like, I know you're gonna take all these guns and try to kill my son. He's like, and that's fine. Just give me your money. But like, if you ask me where my son is, I'm gonna fucking kill you. It's like, okay. The movie's
I might have
awesome.
to I
John
might have to check
Goodman's
that
kind
out.
of awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to mispronounce this name. Nikyaru Jusu
Okay, sure.
will be writing and directing a Fly reboot,
No,
and I was
we don't need
looking
that.
up this person's resume. Apparently, they're also developing a Night of the Living Dead reboot.
We don't need that either.
Sounds like
Who
a
the
fake name.
fuck does
Fake
this
name,
guy
fake story.
think he is?
No shit. Like
He ain't even done shit yet. You're coming in here like, I'm gonna remake the Greats. Whoa,
Yeah.
man, why don't you do something first?
didn't work out very well with Halloween, did it?
I mean, it worked out well for Zack Snyder. He came on the scene like, I'm gonna remake Dawn of the Dead, and we're like, what? And it was
Yeah.
awesome. So
Did a good
That's-
job.
Was that his first movie?
at least that's the first one I saw.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I can't think of anything I saw before that.
There you have it. We'll see how it goes.
I know. Brian was watching the 25-hour long director's cut of Rebel Moon.
Oh, was that
Not-
worth it?
Not done with it yet.
Is it worth it?
What a
Because I
shock.
didn't really care. I mean, I liked the first
Yeah.
one.
Not done with
Fine.
it, not because it's long. It's just
Yeah,
I put it. You know when you put on stuff super late,
I
Yeah.
do.
but immediately they get to the violence and the sex within the first 15, 20 minutes of it.
What?
Okay.
That I don't remember.
What? That
What's her
wasn't
name?
in
Sophia
Philip's
Botella.
copy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
She has a sex scene that I felt was it just kept going. That I don't remember from
fine.
the
That's
first
fine.
movie.
I think I've said I always say it whenever we talk about Rebel Moon, but I mean, it's a Bug's Life. That's what that movie
Is it?
is.
It's the same story. Oh yeah, I've heard you talk about that.
They're literally it's
I've
grain
heard you
too.
talk about that.
It's,
That's
it's not
awesome.
even. It's
Yeah.
the same actual product too. It's grain. That's what they want. That's what the
Which
grasshoppers
is-
wanted. That's what these motherfuckers want.
Which,
Great.
hey, which, by the way, Steve, is the Seven Samurai.
Right. I know. Yeah. It's exactly. It's all connected.
Reiterations of the original story. We'll talk about
Yes.
that one later tonight.
Yes, we will.
All right, a couple more news things here. Adam Wingard's next movie will not be a Godzilla movie. It will be
Thank
a
God.
horror action movie. What do you mean, thank God?
Not a fan.
The movies were way better than overrated Godzilla -1.
Oh.
Brian, I
Over-
usually always agree with you, but I do think that Godzilla -1 was a little overrated. I liked it. I didn't think it was the greatest thing ever.
I'm gonna defend Brian on this one. I don't know if it's better, but
Really?
it's
Give me stupid
They
fun
were
action
fun.
over dramatic.
they knew what they
problems
were
with
and they did their
humans.
job.
I like Dan Stevens.
Yes,
Everything else I
I
was like,
the
love
dentist.
Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens was great, but like I thought that the little monkey
Yeah.
looked weird. I thought that the big orangutans looked weird. I didn't think they looked good.
Yeah.
Kong looked great, and Godzilla looked great, but everything else I thought looked like not fully realized. Like they all just looked a little
Yeah,
shitty.
I'll go-
Especially that
I'll go
little
with that.
monkey. He
I'll
didn't
go
look
with that.
good at all.
Of course you will, Lance. But speaking of Dan Stevens, he will be starring along with Adria Adjorno, I probably pronounced her name wrong, in UFC middleweight Alex Pereira in Adam Wingard's action horror movie Onslaught.
But will he be playing a Piccolo?
What,
So
in the
it's-
movie that you
Yes.
gave 9 out of 10 positive things for and then gave it a 2
I
out
didn't
of
give
10?
it a 2. Did
Yes,
I give
you
it a
did.
2?
Go look, bring the
Uh-oh.
tape back.
Which movie are you talking about that you gave it to?
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Oh yeah, you did that's right, you did. You were like, oh, all these positive things. You're like, yeah, I didn't like it. Like what?
Steve,
It was a
like
weird thing.
Steve, I couldn't even do spoilers on that movie because my brain was broken.
Well, look, it was no Night Swim, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Night Swim.
Dude, if Dane DeHaan had been in Night Swim, that would be all we'd ever talk about.
Night Swim wasn't even like all that terrible. It was just like a nothing movie. Like it was just like
Kind of meh, huh?
yeah.
And we'll finish off news with Orphan 3 has officially been announced with Isabella Furman returning.
How? Is it another prequel?
She's gonna be like 80 years
They better do it like a
Yeah,
sequel.
It can
Make it
I don't
present day. Like, she's old, man.
I mean, it makes sense if it was another prequel because it said she murdered like 4 families before she got to the original family in the original movie.
Oh boy. Ugh.
So they're gonna do that whole forced perspective thing where they make her sit on her knees for the whole time they're filming, and then swap in little kids from back shots and all that.
Her
She
midgets
wasn't on her
running around.
knees. She was crisscross applesauce. Lance,
Wait.
just because you've grown, we're putting it on the schedule.
Ay, nay.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I cannot explain to you how much I don't give a shit.
That first movie was just creepy. I didn't see the second
Yeah,
one.
no,
That
the
first one
first
was just
one was
Well,
good.
for more reasons
Yeah,
than
the
one.
first one was good.
like
The
icky.
second
It was
one,
icky. I was
I
like,
don't know that I watched. I don't even know that I watched the second one. I kind of didn't care. I was like, oh,
I
the
think
first
you
one was
did.
good.
I think you
Yeah.
did. I think you said it
Yeah.
was your cool of the week one week.
No, I know you watched it because we reviewed it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hey,
then I
but
guess I watched
as
it
a,
at
as a
some
listener,
point.
you know, I know I'm on here to record tonight, but as a listener, just because y'all reviewed it doesn't mean shit about y'all watching it. So
Well,
y'all released a whole ass show on the last voyage of the Demeter. So
That was funny.
and I got to the end where the review's about to start, and none of y'all motherfuckers watched that movie.
Not one. Not even the guests. Not even the
I know.
guests.
That shit was
Everybody was banking on somebody else watching it.
I
The
know.
fact that you guys nobody watched it and nobody told anybody else that you didn't watch it.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Watching that unfold in front of us was great.
Like, that's how great of a movie this is.
Because I think Brian was the last one, and I think he was like, he just stayed quiet the whole time.
I
And then it was
thought
like,
for
well, Brian, he
sure
was like,
out
I didn't see it either.
out of everybody, I was banking
Well,
on Brian
I had-
every time.
Shout out to Adam Thomas, who was the guest. I for sure thought he watched it
Yeah.
because he asked to be on that episode.
And then Steve, you guys are so you keep talking about the pauper pants on that one.
Yeah, well, the guy at the end, I'm like,
blown
I-
opportunities. That
I
should have
still
been Van
haven't seen
Helsing.
that fucking movie because I don't give a shit at all.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
it's got some, it's again though, like it's one of those movies that has some really cool visuals, some cool settings. The acting's
Yes,
really
yeah,
good.
I
The creature effects are good, but when you get it as an overall package, it's just underwhelming.
guess.
Yeah.
Something falls apart.
I've got better things to do with my time. How about that?
Like, I can't believe you didn't use this as a Van Helsing origin story. It's right fucking
That's what
there.
it
It's
is.
right fucking
Yep.
there. You have the one fucking guy who lives. Come on, man. No, popper pants. Moving on.
We'll leave news at Popper Pants.
All right. That sounds dirty.
Okay. All right, Brian. Now it's time. It's time to take a little trip down to the trailer park. Brian is going to bring us the big, the small, and sometimes the very, very weird. What's our first new trailer tonight, Brian?
Our first and only trailer is for a sci-fi horror movie titled Ash. Let's see. Got a synopsis pulled up. A woman wakes up on a distant planet and finds the crew of her space station viciously killed. Her investigation into what happened sets in motion a terrifying chain of events. This is directed by Flying Lotus, which I believe he's a musician. I think he's done some.
Yeah, at least a couple of regular films, like feature-length films.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the name.
Like
This-
really weird stuff, from what I hear.
Yeah, this stars Isa Gonzalez, Aaron Paul, and the Raid's Iko Uwais.
Okay.
Aaron Paul, is that one of the Paul brothers?
No, that's Jesse
No, it's
from
from
Breaking
Breaking
Bad.
Bad.
Oh, okay, all right. I was like, wait a minute, what are we doing?
Bring on
One
Mike
of-
Tyson.
If Jake or Logan's in this movie, this changes the movie completely.
Yes.
Yes.
If you saw Jake Paul come flying in off the fucking top of something with his yellow pants on,
Right?
I would be like, I can't wait. As it is,
That'd be great.
sometimes these I can't tell because I've watched several of these sci-fi horror movies with a very small cast that feel like it was filmed on one set, with a lot of green screen, and they're awesome. But then other times, it's like, I don't know, why'd you even bother?
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't have a story. This one, the trailer, I didn't get much. I got more from what you said about the synopsis than what I did from the trailer. I didn't know
Yeah.
what was going on in the trailer. Definitely looks like it has some cool visuals though. And if we're just going on that, it looks really good. But it also looks like it might be a little artsy and confusing with like the close-ups on the face and the rings of light and all, going around. Well, so I'm indifferent as of right now.
But also very, very sci-fi. Like
Mhm.
more sci-fi than I expected. I put this on because, we have to watch it. And then I kind of ignored it for a second. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then I sort of rewound and watched it again. And I was like, that looks pretty cool, Like
Right.
it's a spaceship in the middle of fucking nowhere with some like really sci-fi horror kind of shit. I'm down.
I like how we get these little glimpses into the way Philip
Yeah.
like thinks about doing things. It's like, I put it on because we have to. And good stuff.
I'm here for this. The visuals look cool, and I mean, I'm hoping we get a Jesse from Breaking Bad versus Iko Uwais from The Raid fight scene.
Oh wow. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Better than Jake Paul.
I don't know, dude. I'm super stoked about this fight.
I know.
I'm
At least we actually get to
100%.
see a fight.
I'm 100% positive that Jake's gonna win
I think he. I
100%.
think he
It's
probably.
'cause
I
it-
think he probably is too. To be honest,
because
with you.
it's a complete circus. That's why.
I like.
Okay.
I don't want him to. I think. I really hope that they like really go balls out, and Mike Tyson just shows
Well,
up.
that's my
but-
hope is Mike forgets that it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a show
Yeah.
and the old feelings come back in
and bites his ear off.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I'm not going to let this young kid kick my ass. Fuck that.
Yes.
kid."
And he goes wild and just knocks that motherfucker out. But I don't know. Father Time
Well-
undefeated.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
we
know,
got
man.
to we got to remember they canceled the original date because he had an ulcer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well.
I don't know. They've shown some physique shots of Mike Tyson recently, though, and that man has put in the work.
Oh,
I don't
for
think
sure.
I don't think he's taking it lightly. Like his 6-month transformation is pretty drastic. So
Yeah, he's also twice his age. So we'll see.
Well, you know,
Win
we'll
one
see
for
what
some, win
happens.
one for us old guys, Mike. Put one
I
of these
know.
young punks in their place, please.
I hope he does.
Do what all of us old guys want to do, but no, we probably can't.
We can do it vicariously.
You know, like I would if I was 10 years younger and you weren't as big. You know, I would. You
Roid it
better
up.
watch out if those circumstances. Were the case.
I'd like him to eat his children.
Oh God.
Oh, those days are gone.
Yeah. Or it
He
could be a
owns
weird
no
sex
tigers.
thing since he doesn't actually have any kids. But we'll scooch on past that.
Anyways,
Uh,
Ash.
Yeah, to bring us back, Lance, what did you think of Ash?
Well, when you sent a trailer and it said Ash on it, I was hoping it was a different particular Ash. Even though nobody said anything and Bruce Campbell's saying, no, I'm not going to do another one. That's what I was hopeful for. But then I watched the trailer and now I know why it's called Ash, Steve. Because with those fucking visuals at the end there, you got to be green to watch this one.
Well, that won't be a problem for me.
Yeah, I'm all in. It looks super trippy. Kind of like Annihilation. Remember that one? The visuals of Annihilation.
Yeah.
I like that movie a
Yeah.
lot.
Reminiscent of that. So I'm all in. I'm all in.
All
It
right,
looks
no set release date, but it is coming out next year.
Okay.
All right.
All right. On to listener feedback. This week we shine the podcast spotlight on Log It, another movie podcast.
Log it. Okay.
Log It, another movie podcast with Ian and Caleb talking about what we've been watching on Letterboxd and beyond. Join us in our cinematic adventure. Will do. Ian and Caleb, go to Log It, another movie podcast. They're not even paying us for this shit. All right. In regards to 3 from Hell, Travis Johnson says, I just did an ad read. Travis Johnson says, the first 2 movies were great, but I just feel like everybody was too old at this state and they didn't even really try acting. I mean, it was just horrible plot, horrible story. You could have just left it with the first 2 movies and didn't do a sequel. I would have been upset. But
Right.
you had to finish it and kind of ruin the series by doing this crappy film.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah, I don't think you ruined the series. I mean,
True. But a little bit of a point.
Makes
Darren
a few points. Makes a few points.
Darren Schumann says, satanic pieces of shit.
Okay.
oh, is that the
I didn't
positive
like
or
the
negative
other two,
content?
so.
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And Christian Frey says the lead character was denim. I don't know what that means. Like the pants? Just denim from the 70s?
I think this is I post a lot of behind the scenes pictures. This is a picture
Okay.
of Bill Moseley and Danny Trejo and Rob Zombie standing together, and they're all
In
wearing
denim.
denim.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
Canadian tuxedos?
Yeah.
All right. In regards to Transylvania 65000,
That's going back.
Jack Mart says not just 1 but 2 Ichabod cranes.
Okay.
I don't know what any of that means. In regards to Nightmare on Elm Street 2, David Holmes says reminds me of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Proper runt of the pack, but watchable.
Okay.
Run of the Pack's got to go to 6. That's the half.
Yeah.
For
Or the
Elm Street?
remakes.
Oof.
Which one was that?
Ooh. Well, fucking Freddy's.
We saw 'em all,
dead.
remember?
I think.
Oh,
Yeah, Freddy's
yeah.
dead.
All right.
Yeah. The final nightmare or whatever.
Ugh. Ugh.
Rough stuff.
In regards to Chloe Grace Moretz, Rob Stone says that girl right there is about the finest on the planet.
All
And
right.
I want to say, if you're listening, Chloe, I know you are. I apologize for some of the comments on this post. I had to delete some of them. They were
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, people were
not
being
the
a little rude.
nicest.
Hey, listen, don't stick the
Wow.
pouty lips out there and put them in a movie if you're not expecting that kind of shit.
Oh, they were way worse than that.
Okay. Enough said.
Some of them
said.
might have got us flagged on Facebook for
God damn.
Hate speech, huh?
How are we responsible for that shit?
I know, man. I know, right?
Guys, please be kind with your comments, or at least not super duper vulgar.
Just try your best.
Just keep it to like a rated R.
Right.
All right, that's it for our listener feedback. Please be nice to Chloe Grace Moretz, but she is beautiful. Our show and intro and all of our logos come from Steve Carlton.
Oh
From
yeah.
the League
All
of
right.
Geeks. No,
This guy.
just Geeks. My bad.
Yeah, the Geeks. Hey Phil, did you see the Shocker shirt design?
Yes.
I've seen it
The Shocker one.
Yeah, from the movie, the Shocker.
from the Wes Craven movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I went through and looked at them all.
I don't think I put that one live on the story yet.
Oh, then no, I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, the guy in the electric chair with the orange jumpsuit. and
Oh
all
yeah.
that.
I did
Yeah.
see that one. That was awesome.
So,
We should definitely put that one live on the store. That
yeah,
looks like
I'll put it up.
like it looks like a freaking Metallica album. Ride the
Oh
Lightning.
yeah, Ride the Lightning.
It's
Ride the
awesome.
Lightning.
It was tricky to get the Horror Returns font, with
I'll
with the Shocker font and with the same little lightning bolts and all that. Like
Yeah, it
it took some doing.
Hey,
And dude, we
Jasper's a bad
appreciate it.
man.
We appreciate everything you do, Steve. We
For
could,
sure.
Oh man,
I couldn't even do a stick figure for a t-shirt.
it's I like doing it, and I like Jasper. Jasper's my guy, man.
Jasper's
cool,
the
dude.
man. Jasper's
I need-
the man.
I need to figure out how to get a plushie of Jasper Jenkins. You know what I mean?
Oh
I need
my
to figure
God.
out how.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
I got to do it. I got to figure it out.
My daughter would be in heaven.
That and Art the Clown, right, Philip?
That and Art the Clown, dude, she's into it. I'm telling you.
I know.
And our original skull artwork comes from Natsulani, of course. If you'd like to help us
Of
out,
course.
please consider becoming a Patreon patron. We'll let you pick the movies for a future show at any amount, and for $5 or more a month, also pick a commentary for a future bonus show. And you just missed out on our limited time offer. But stay tuned, and we'll give you some more shit for sure.
More coming.
at some point in time. All right, on to our featured attractions. It's Religious Horror Week again, with the brand new Heretic, as well as The Exorcism of God, which is a movie that I had never heard of. But it came out in 20.
That's why Steve's on the show tonight.
There you go. Came out in 2021. We're going to go with that one first. An American priest working in Mexico, the Mexorcist, is possessed during an exorcism and ends up committing a terrible act, sort of. 18 years later, the consequences of his sin come back to haunt him, unleashing the greatest battle within. Can you guess what his terrible act was? Director
18 years later.
Director is Alejandro Hidalgo, also known for The House at the End of Time, which I also have never seen.
Okay.
Writers Alejandro Hidalgo with Santiago Fernandez Calvete, who is known for The Second Death. But before the priest enters the house in the beginning of the movie, the scene where he is standing in front of the house looking up at the window is an homage to The Exorcist.
No, you don't say. The exact same shot? No.
Or an exact shot-for-shot ripoff.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll call that an homage.
Same
Yeah,
lighting
we call
and
it an
Same lighting and
homage.
everything, Steve.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's true.
Fair enough.
I think they did that a couple of times in this movie,
Yeah.
but I can't remember a whole lot of it. Steve, tell me what you thought about it.
Well, first, I'm thinking about all the shirt designs that I got for the Mexorcist. Because that's
Oh, God.
that's something I because that was great. So I do like religious horror mostly because like when it hits hard, but
Yeah,
most of them
yeah.
don't, right? Like most of them are neither here nor there. But you have those ones that hit, like The Last Rite. You have like the Vatican tapes.
Mm-hmm.
You have this one for me, the original Exorcist, and then you have ones that are not so great. We're looking at you, Exorcist believer. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So I throw these on because I don't know. There's a vibe that I get from them. You know, I'm not a religious person, so I don't feel weird watching them. It's just a cool vibe that I get from them. So this one in particular took some. While you say it copies a lot of other things, boy, does it do some shit that none of these other ones do.
That's true. That's
Starting
true.
with a very sexy exorcism, if I say so myself, and moving
the
into
sexorcism.
the sexorcism,
Yeah.
and then you have like what they do with religious iconography, with
Right.
Jesus on the cross, with the Virgin Mary statues, and turning those into scary monsters is there's nothing scarier than a Jesus with a crown of thorns and a monster face screaming at you, running backwards up a wall. Like, holy shit.
That's true.
So, and then the finale, there's a reason this movie's called The Exorcism of God, and I don't want to get there before we all get there, but I did not see that coming, and I've never seen that in any movie before or since, and that is a hell of a concept. So
Probably because it
battling
doesn't really
exorcisms.
make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but it was so fucking cool watching. I
Yeah.
don't know, like
I'm
I'm not here for logistics. I don't
interesting.
believe in any of this anyhow. So for me, it's all poppycock. So this was just, I was just like, this is great. Yes, fucking. Who's got the louder voice? And it had a cool little ending. I thought the little bits at the end were pretty good. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with this one, so I like it.
All right. Brian, what do you think?
Steve, since you mentioned this movie, I've been waiting to watch it. I've been saving this movie
Same here.
for a special time.
Uh-oh.
And the opening of this movie was so fantastic. I was set for a ride that I thought I wasn't going to be ready for.
Oh, wow.
Man, was I disappointed after the opening scene.
Oh, darn.
Downhill from there. I do agree with the images of Jesus and the Virgin Mary. I liked all that stuff. I liked the idea of what was trying to happen at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a fan of religious horror because I feel like it's a lot of the same tropes over and over.
It wasn't in this, though. See, it was original.
Ish.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
be quiet.
Their demons were zombies in this one.
If we're only talking about the beginning and the end, yes, original. The whole middle, they threw in all
Really?
the tropes.
Yeah. And it does get kind of bogged down in the middle. There's a lot of talky when we're not really like you get it. As soon as he's like, it was 18 years ago, I'm like, oh, it's his daughter. Like, ta-da! And like it takes
Bonk,
him
bonk in the
45
head.
minutes to get you there before they finally like, it's his daughter. I'm like, I fucking know. We all know. Even fucking Jeffrey knows.
We saw the first.
Yes,
movie.
we got Jeffrey, the original Jeffrey from Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
In there. And
Right.
I'm just like, what are we doing?
He's
Drink
a
it.
priest in another movie doing
Is
exorcist
he?
shit as a blind
No.
priest that I just
No
watched.
shit.
He's in Hellboy the Crooked Man doing
Oh,
this shit.
wow.
Oh, nice.
Did he carry a little flask around with him like he did in this one?
No, but he was a shit talking priest just like in here too. Flapping, dropping F bombs.
He
I
kind
didn't,
of
I
works
didn't,
as that
I
character.
didn't understand his character though.
You didn't?
What
was his motivation?
His
Huh?
soul was damned to hell. How the fuck was he
Right.
gonna help with anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
he's kind
like,
of worthless,
you can't have any sins to do the thing, and then he's like, but I'm like definitely going to hell. Like, wait a second. So you shouldn't be here at all. You should be like the farthest away
Although,
person.
to be
But
fair,
these priests are all lying.
To
to
be
each other
fair,
anyway.
he sold his soul to somebody, or
Right.
he sold his soul to the devil to save somebody else. So it was still like is his soul going to hell?
Like a
Maybe,
sacrifice.
but
yeah.
it was like an ultimate sacrifice.
Shouldn't it
was
be
still
God's choice,
in
right?
general.
Ultimately. I mean,
You would think.
See,
I
now
don't
we're
think
getting
he's
into
going
that.
away.
We're getting into that thing called logistics again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
the
know.
logistics.
I know. Yeah, you
overthinking
can't
it.
think too much about logistics in this
I guess-
movie. That's for sure.
I guess for me, the highs were so high that the lows of the whole middle
Yeah.
section of the movie, where you get all your story and your exposition,
Yeah.
the highs were so high that didn't drag me down. To
These
where,
are two
to where it
very
couldn't
fucking
bother me.
different movies, by the way.
Which is cool. It's all
Yeah.
religious horror week, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I just that the whole middle piece just took me out of it. Like you said, it took so long for them to even acknowledge that was his daughter.
Okay.
They started the jump scares were just like, come on now. They even threw the spider walk scene in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know.
My
you're saying
favorite-
all the things, and I'm like, yeah, but I liked all that.
What
My
was it,
favorite
Philip?
was when they had the Jesus demon, and
Oh
he was.
yeah.
I
That
don't
was creepy.
exactly remember what was happening to. I think it was when he was like getting beat up or dying or something.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember exactly what was happening to him, but it was the most god awful special effects I've ever seen, and it was
Very
fantastic.
CGI heavy, right? Very CGI.
Yeah.
So bad it's good, maybe.
The
There was
wall
just
crawling,
a
the wall
completely
crawling
different
was
size
not
than
very
the
good.
rest of the people on the screen. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, but they did
like
that in
Orphan.
It, and everyone clapped. I don't know.
The movie was just uneven because there was scenes where I thought the acting was really good, and then there were
Yeah,
scenes
right.
like when he agrees to sell his soul at the end. The demons just kind of lay
Yeah.
on the ground,
Yes.
and it's over.
Well.
They don't
Did you-
collapse; they just gently lay on the ground.
Well, it's over.
Yeah,
Remember Idle Hands was like, that's it. No, there's no bra.
Right.
I'm glad it's over. It was kind of weak, but it's over. But that came after like a really cool scene, and like the practical effects on the makeup on those demon people was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I
that was
like
pretty
the
crazy.
Virgin Mary. I like that she still kind of looked like a statue come to
Yeah.
life. I
Oh,
thought
sure.
I thought stuff like there was
She was taking
things
them
in here
kids
that
out.
was-
I was like, oh
With the
shit.
two different colored eyes.
Oh, I like that scene in the children's hospital when all the kids started flatlining and they're just shaking,
Foaming at the mouth.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, we're doing something, and then
Right.
we would go back to
Well, and like they didn't want the priests didn't want even that to happen. They were like, please get everyone out, and they were like, no.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
fuck.
Right.
Like,
Well,
like
then what
they
can we
wanted
do?
it to like none of this to happen, and it would have been a very
Yeah.
quiet finale.
They were putting
for
people
us.
to sleep, right?
But
I think
because of
the
those
dev-
federales, those pesky federales, we got to have this high body count with fucking demons flying out from everywhere. Like, holy shit, everyone's possessed in this motherfucker. I don't know. I thought the concept was really cool. Maybe the execution. I don't know. Maybe it's just my blinders.
the X.
no. I hear everything you're saying. It's just that opening,
The opening that grabbed you, man. It's
the
like,
sexorcism, the way
Yeah.
she played that. I
I
believed it
knew.
was
I knew. As
actually
soon as I
happening.
saw them nipples
Yeah.
popping through.
I was like,
Yeah, those
I was
nipples,
like, but then you get into that question, and I was like,
huh? So-
I probably fucking,
Yeah, when he gives in, I was kind of like, oh, okay,
I'm not mad at you, bro.
yeah.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? High. It's a very tense moment in there. Emotions are high.
I mean,
That-
she's a
that
demon
wasn't the only thing
and
that
all
was
that
high.
stuff, but
That beginning was just so much.
He's like, "This is holy water." She's like,
Alive.
eh.
Give me more.
Whoa.
She-
He pulled out
she
the
thought it was
camera.
lubricant.
She said, "Oh, you like to watch?" It's like, oh my god.
Well, you got some holy water in there. I guess it's okay, right?
That was wild. Wild. opening.
Yeah, it just that opening just set me up for something that I thought was going to continue through the rest of the movie, and then you just talked me to death throughout.
It does
the middle.
it's a big lull before you get to anything. Like before you get to that first Jesus like creeping on dude while he's sleeping, because that's like the first scary thing that happens. And there's about 20 minutes between that opening and that where it's just, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This thing happened, and now he's here with a beard, and he's like giving rice to people. What is
Right.
going on? What's the ramifications for what just happened? And then he's like, this crazy thing happened 18 years ago. And I remember on the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, so your kid's coming into this somehow. And
Well,
it's
I can
18,
now,
so
huh?
you're going to be
Yeah.
gross, you know?
All right. Lance, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, there were certain parts in here that were like super slow, and the acting was like not necessarily the best, of course, right? You know, there were some decent scenes, but there were some parts in there, Steve, where I was thinking, dude, what the fuck movie did you watch this? You really enjoyed this.
I did.
But
I watched it again today and liked it.
okay, that being said, I'm going to compare this one a little bit to the maybe we saw earlier this year, Tarot. How do you pronounce it? Tarot.
Tara.
Okay, yeah, Tarot.
I want to hear this. How these two movies connect.
I'll
The
say
kid
they.
from
I'll say
Spider-Man?
they. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I'll say they connect in that this was not like a super high quality, high budget movie, right? Like, you know, you guys
Definitely
are
not.
talking about the CGI not always, you know, looking completely realistic. And that was the same thing with Tarot, right? But fucking super creepy. Like some incredibly creepy makeup, incredibly creepy CGI effects, lots of jump scares that were like not necessarily well earned, but okay, this reminded me of a Hammer horror movie. Like I'm an old dude. So back in the old days, boys and girls, they had a production company called Hammer Films out of the UK. And they would have like, you know, female vampires that were lesbian, that their bodices were ripping open and they were coming after you down the hallway. So this was like a clear throwback to that. And that was a lot of fun.
Oh no!
So I
don't
love that.
touch me.
Oh, don't touch me. Oh, okay. Yes, there was some silly stuff like in the beginning when he was on top of her, I knew this is it. He's going to town.
Oh yeah.
This is happening. And that was
Dude,
kind of like
he
bizarre.
put his hand on her stomach to feel if she was breathing. And what
then
she
she-
did with that hand, I was like, oh.
Yeah, and there was no hesitation to even move the hand or anything.
And it was weird because
No.
she still had like her
No, he
gross
was-
demon hand. You know, I was like,
He was ready.
I was
He
like,
was
"All right,
ready to go.
Listen, at base level, guys are just stupid. All right, that's how that works.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take
Very
that
easily
explanation.
manipulated.
I'll take that explanation. Okay, I'm gonna say yes. There were a lot of boring scenes in between and stuff like that, but this was kind of like a fun little, almost kind of like so bad it's good movie that, you know, the effects were like, okay, so there was the one scene where they had the 3 or 4 female demons all coming after him. And then I'm like, are they really going to do this? Are they going to say like, we're trying to cast God out of you? And I've never seen that before. And with all the
That
fucking
was
candles,
awesome.
you had the atmosphere, they were down in a dungeon, you had the candles, he was all chained up. And I was like,
Like-
okay, this is
They're like,
truly
the
original.
fire commands you. Fuck, I was like, oh my god,
Instead
this
of-
is wild.
instead of the blood of Christ.
I loved when it wasn't working right away. All the demons' faces,
Yes.
like, are we doing something wrong?
They were so disappointed that God was so strong.
I thought that was
Yeah.
just a really crazy concept. Like, yeah, you'd think like, okay, so priests, they can go and they can cast out the devil out of somebody who's been possessed or whatever. I'm like, so it stands to reason if we're just
Right,
taking this
right,
on the
right.
face value that like
Yin
a
and
demon
yang, right? Yeah,
could
they could
cast
fill it.
God out of somebody that's like really religious. Like, I mean, it adds up on paper.
It's a great
I can
concept.
see where you
It's
say
a
that on
great
paper,
concept.
but on paper
Yeah.
still doesn't make sense.
You don't
Yeah,
think it's
because-
on paper, I mean,
'cause
to
he
me,
shouldn't have
none of this
been-
makes sense. So that's why I'm not
He
religious.
shouldn't have had that
Yeah.
power because
enough.
he sinned.
Well, yeah,
But
if you're
his
going, like,
sins
were
according
absolved.
to the
His sins were
rules of the
absolved.
movie.
He had already confessed, and he said that his sins would have been absolved if he were able to do his absolution or whatever, do his penance. And he said he could never do his penance, but he did his penance before he went in there, and that's why he went in there and started wrecking ass and taking demons out left and right. Because
Oh,
Jeffrey
logistics.
Jeffrey died, he was like, I have to go film my confession or whatever the fuck he did.
Oh,
and
that's
then,
right.
And then that's when he got his superpower, and he started
Well,
whooping ass.
you know, once you post your apology to Facebook, then you get your superpower. It's like
Yeah.
Deadstream.
Listen, I'm not the one that makes the religions of the church. That's just what they are. Like, as far as I know, that rule sounds just about as real as most of the other ones. So, so I was like, you know,
Fair
I
enough.
thought it was awesome. He's like trying to fight back, like strapped to the chair. He's like, the power of Christ. They're just like being louder, and they're just like all yelling. At one point,
Yeah.
they're just all like, ah!
What about, hey guys,
It's like,
So
this
guys,
is
what
great.
about the scene where he had the video cassette and he was about to confess and hand it to him, and then he said, the boss said, you're up for a promotion. He took that video cassette and went, okay, never mind the video cassette. It's
Well,
just
yeah,
like
but then you get to the end,
basic
and you find
human
out that
nature.
his boss is one of them fucking devil people too.
Always
So it's like
is.
all the religious
What a
cats
shocker.
are all the devil.
Always is. There was just a Houston pastor that and I actually am a religious person. But there was a Houston pastor that just got like arrested for
Mhm.
assaulting a
not
minor
Joel Osteen.
or
Not
some
Joel
shit.
Osteen, right?
No.
Okay.
No,
I
he just
don't know who it
bogarts
was.
all the money and doesn't help
Yeah.
anybody.
He just hoards it all. That guy's a salesman.
Or that one weird guy who's like, you see the videos on Facebook, he's like, Tyler Perry made that plane so cheap I had to buy it. He's got that weird, crazy face. It's like, this guy's weird.
Religion. Religion.
And then,
Okay.
so,
Well, and in saying that, I think that so I love religious horror,
Yes, you do.
but I also like it when they take it seriously. This one is silly.
oh, this was not taken seriously at all.
Yeah.
And
right.
I'm very
But-
aware of that.
and
This
it knew what it was, and they played up to that, and it actually wasn't terrible. I mean, it's definitely a B movie, but like it wasn't terrible. I like it, like personally, when they take it a little more seriously and it makes it really scary, right? But this one knew what it was, and they went way the fuck off the reservation, which was fantastic. You know, I mean, if you're gonna do it,
Sure.
let's go for it.
so
Might
many
as well,
try to
huh?
take it so seriously, and they fall short.
Right.
And it comes off silly.
And that's the worst, right? That's
Or-
the cardinal sin.
And this
Like,
might be a
well.
B movie, but you have these AAA movies like Exorcist Believer that are coming out. This is
Also
way
true.
fucking better than that.
Also true. And I thought that the zombie like demons that were chasing everybody the whole time,
Yes.
even though it was kind of genre bending,
Mhm.
I think I kind of liked it. It was interesting,
Right.
They were
and
slow,
different.
but cool.
Yeah. They did a lot of different things. They sort of mixed a bunch of stuff together in this movie, and I don't remember a ton of it, to be honest with you, even though I just watched it a couple of days ago, so it wasn't awesome, but it wasn't terrible.
That's awesome.
And I like the zombie army because Jeffrey says he's like, oh, that demon's here. Like, fuck, he always comes with
Oh,
like
yeah.
extra people. Like he's always
Yeah,
got
watch
extra.
out,
So
watch out for
that's
that
why
one.
Jeffrey said that you got to get everybody out of here because it'll spread and he'll have a whole bunch
Right.
of these motherfuckers. And then nobody listened to Jeffrey,
And then look what happened.
like always.
I do. My favorite part that was the demon Jesus and the CGI stuff that was happening
Yes.
in that
Yes.
process, and I was like, "What in the who gave this the okay to put on screen?"
It's so bonkers.
It was
It's
so
like-
terrible. It's bonkers, man.
But I've seen some of them Jesus statues before and been like, that's creepy looking.
They're
like,
creepy.
you know,
Oh,
like some,
yeah, for
not
sure.
all
Yeah,
of them,
man.
but some of them
Yeah.
out there are done with
No,
not the best
yeah.
artistry.
Or
You're
Buddy,
like
Buddy
that
Christ.
imagery.
Buddy Christ.
Yeah, Buddy Christ. There you go. Well, he's not creepy. He's friendly.
He's happy. He's a good
Christ
guy.
that's being tortured and killed is a
Yes.
little creepy.
with a spear in his side and
Yeah.
fucking crown of thorns.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Scores. Steve, what do you think?
All right. Don't crucify me for this. All right. But this is all personal opinion. All right. It's all personal opinion. I'm giving this a 9. A 9 out of 10.
Wow.
I
Dude,
love
there's-
this movie.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
I love this movie. I love it. I love this
Night
movie.
Swim, Brian.
I love this movie.
Jesus Christ,
Okay.
a 9?
I have a lot of fun
Jesus
with it.
Christ, huh? See,
I watched it 3 times.
All
Once
right.
on a blind whim,
That's
once for the show for Geekz, and then now this one. And all 3 times, I've had a good time watching it. Despite the bad parts, it scratches that itch for me. It's like a subgenre that I like, and it's good. I like
I
it.
may have to give this one another watch. A 9? That's insane.
Uh-oh.
All right. Brian, what do you think?
Let's see. For the beginning and the end alone, I think you should watch it. If you're a fan of religious horror, I think you should watch it. Just don't expect anything new or interesting throughout the entire middle portion.
Fair enough.
There was
Yeah.
some interesting ideas in there. So I think I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay. That's a more reasonable score. Lance,
I
what
think
do
my
you
score is reasonable. I mean, Nez tosses out
A
10
9?
like fucking
This
Hollywood.
movie's not a 9, dude.
Halloween King. It is to me. Maybe it's not
On
to
no
you.
planet.
On Planet Steve, where awesome T-shirts are designed, it's a fucking 9, baby.
There you go. There you go. Boom. Boom.
Lance, what do you think?
I'm with Brian on this one. Sorry, Steve, but I think 6 is very fair, because 6 means, I liked it more than I didn't like it. And despite the super boring, like explaining, and then explaining why it's explaining, and then this, but then you get a little moment like where he hides the video cassette. Like, you just laugh your ass off when you see that. And you get a little moment where you've got all these fucking candles in a dungeon and these 3 demon ladies literally trying to exorcise God out of a priest. And then you get these little moments where, like, you're dealing with the rape of Satan. They could have called it that, I guess, right? So, and then those eyes, the weird eyes effect. That
Yeah.
final scene where the girl turns around like, and it's like, there's one on the other side. Be careful, Father. But it is kind of funny. Too,
I
'cause
like
at
that
the
shit.
end-
I was like, ooh, they're
No,
it's like a superpower fight. No, it's like superheroes are gonna fight.
No, it was. It
This
was
is
like
great.
it was so fucking Marvel Comics.
Yes.
But also,
This
if you
is
think about it at
Marvel
the
religion.
end, but no, the other thing I loved about
This
the
makes
end
religion
is that
fun.
it was
I could get on
it-
board
it
with
was
this.
kind- it was kind of showing the nastiness of the Catholic religion, but without saying it. Does that make sense? Like, in other words, the corruption and the way that, one of the literal demons that's literally lost his soul is like at the top of the food chain at the Vatican now. So anyway, it had a lot to say. In that respect, I just don't think it executed. So 6 out of 10. I liked it more than I didn't like it. So there.
I'm going to go. I think 6 is a pretty fair score because I did enjoy it.
6,
It
6,
was-
6.
But you don't remember it.
Oh, I
Steve.
know, right?
You don't remember it. You're like, it's not
I
a
know.
9. I don't remember
Alright.
it, but it's not a 9.
Well, it was fun. It was kind of silly. I like part of the reason that I like religious horror is when it's like when they take it really seriously and it's actually like legitimately scary. Like I like movies to scare me. This one didn't scare me. This was kind of just silly. It was like a zombie movie, but but demons instead.
It's just the fun factor. The fun.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun though. I did have fun with this movie. I can't remember all the stuff that happened, and I'm really excited about talking about this next movie more than I am this one. But it was all right. Wasn't not bad.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not like great. It's not cinema. It's not art. It's
Yeah.
just fun. It's just
It's
like
a
silly,
it is
good.
it is
like
for
it's
sure
easy. I don't know.
a
It goes
fun
down easy.
horror movie. Yeah.
And like that, the first time I watched it, it came in a time where I was watching a ton. Last Exorcism of Emily Rose, all these.
Yeah.
There's just so many, and this one I was like, it's opened up and it there was something new, and then in
At
the middle
least
there's something new, and then at the
Yeah.
end there's something new, and I'm like,
At least it was something
like-
different. So that's true. Because there's a lot of exorcism movies out there that are garbage. Were there any exorcism movies before The Exorcist? Or did that start a whole new genre?
There had to have been like the old black and white movies that had an exorcism, right? Wouldn't you
I
think?
don't know.
I mean,
You got to make that a research project.
I don't know. Just
David
just
What was the
curious.
first
you're listening.
exorcism movie?
Yeah.
What?
Because like The Exorcist is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
But like this one is not. But it was fun.
Oh, I would definitely put this in one of my of this genre, one of my favorite.
Yeah.
All right.
Understandable. I get it. I get it. I
The
get your
Exorcist
points,
in
dude.
1973 was the first exorcism movie.
I'm
That's
shocked
what
Philip gave it a
was.
6. I thought Philip had a 4 coming for sure on this one.
Well,
No, I had a good time with it. Plus, there was, some pretty good nips.
And she finally opened her top at the end too, right? Okay. Moving right along.
All right, on to our new movie, Heretic. Two young religious women, Mormon women is what it really should say, because this is really based on that, are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. Directors and writers are Scott Beck and Brian Woods, also known for A Quiet Place, Day One, and Haunt.
Underrated movie. You seen
Yeah.
that one, Steve? Haunt,
That's a good one.
where they do the haunted house and the characters, they all had the mask on, the killers.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Like there was a clown mask and a demon mask. Brian, we loved that one. Remember?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you described like a whole bunch of other movies.
Yeah,
That's
like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I
not
was
sure
gonna
which.
say,
kind of generic.
That's kind of a
description.
generic concept, but they get stuck in this haunted house and there's clowns trying to kill them and shit. It's pretty good. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East were both raised Mormon, so
What?
were able to give valuable insight into religion when shooting the movie. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
They are both no longer Mormons.
Okay.
The end credits feature the statement no generative AI was used in the making of this film. I don't know what that means.
Is that trivia?
It is.
It's kind of trivial, but
Well, it's nice to hear. It's
No,
nice
I
to
mean
hear.
that's
That
serious.
AI is
Yeah, that
everywhere.
is nice. That's refreshing. That's refreshing, right?
All right, fair enough. Seems random, but
Oh,
all right.
they're looking good. Look at that.
Yeah, don't have one of those.
Uh oh.
Does Lance have like 600 of them in his house?
Probably.
Yeah. That's behind the camera. You don't see the boxes.
Steve, what'd you think about
It's
this
next
one?
to his fucking microphone cord. Heretic. I really like this one too. Hugh Grant pontificates and just has these long tirades, and I love all that shit, all the connections. Like he's like making like these musical connections. I'm like, oh, that fucking Radiohead song is like that. So like,
Yeah.
and then he's doing the religion thing, and then Sophie Thatcher comes in and has her back and forth. He posits a lot of good questions. It's a slower movie than I thought, and from the
Yeah.
trailer I got I thought we were going to be dealing with a very large labyrinthian kind of intricate thing, and while it is a large space we're dealing with, it's not quite what I thought it was. I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I wanted to love it, but I did like it. So, without
Okay.
getting into spoilers.
Yeah.
Got to be careful.
Spoilers are
Yeah.
going to be interesting in this one.
So, good setting. I think everyone acted really well. I like the musical choices throughout. They played different versions of the same songs throughout. It was good. It was good.
All right. Brian, what do you think?
Again, not my genre, religious horror, but I did like it. Didn't love it. I thought Hugh Grant was outstanding in this. He was both inviting. He felt like someone that you could go into their house and have a piece of pie with, but then at the same time, he felt like somebody you should never go into their house alone or
Yeah,
at
very
all.
charming and creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Sophie Thatcher and what was her name, Chloe East. I thought they were good also. Sophie Thatcher was the more forward speaking person, and
She was the one with the
Chloe-
dark hair?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I like
Chloe
her a lot.
East was the more timid, standoffish of the two, and I thought they kind of balanced each other out in that aspect. I think the trailer sells you on a movie, like you said, Steve, of this labyrinth in the house.
Almost
which-
like traps and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Different puzzles to solve or
Mm-hmm.
moral quandaries to get out of, you know.
Yeah, you get a movie that's not quite that, but it does have some good ideas in there, especially with the whole idea of the one true religion. What that turned out to be, I thought was interesting at the end, and I just thought it was a well acted movie, well directed, slow paced, but little. That's a spoiler. Can't get into that.
I know, it's
I know.
tricky. It's tricky.
I did enjoy it more than I didn't. I'll just say that.
And I looked it up, and I don't know what's her name, Rebecca East? What's the other actress?
The
Chloe
mousy
East.
one.
Chloe East. She's, from what I could tell, she's had some bit parts and stuff, but was mainly a Disney Channel actress. And then you have
No kidding.
Sophie Thatcher, who I know more from Yellow Jackets, and she was
Yellow
also in
Jackets.
Boogeyman.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
She played the younger, what's her name? I can't.
Yeah,
Juliette Lewis.
her.
There it is.
There you go.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes that's good casting.
It is good casting, isn't it?
Lance, what do you think?
I said it about Hereditary with Toni Collette, that when we reviewed it, I said if she's not nominated for an Oscar, something's fucked up with the system. I'm going to say it again for Hugh Grant. If he is not nominated for an Oscar for this movie, fuck the system. Fuck you, Oscars. I'll never watch you again.
He doesn't have enough range.
This was an amazing performance.
He won't
Go
be
watch the
for
Oscars
sure.
every year.
Yeah.
I know. That's true. That's true.
That
That's
guy
true.
made talking about Monopoly, and I didn't know there was an original
Neither did
Monopoly
I.
called Landlords.
I did know that.
He's talking
It's
about
very
the
good
stuff.
point.
It's like Steve brought up the stuff with Radiohead, and I'm just kind of like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very rabbit hole shit, right? Very
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
When I was watching that, the first thing I thought of, I was like, Phil's gonna love this shit.
Oh, yeah.
All his
I thought that
conspiracy
too,
ravel,
at a
all the
certain point.
connections.
This is
I'm
my
like, this is
jam,
all
dude. I
this is
love
what
this
he does.
movie.
And real quick, not to step on your part, Lance, but the whole back and forth about religion, I thought was cool because I felt like they were saying stuff that other movies probably wouldn't have said
Okay.
to create that back and forth conversation.
Some real questions.
Like
Yeah.
for example, or do you need to wait for spoilers?
We'll just wait. Well, the whole
Yeah.
Just
about
in general.
having multiple wives and how do you feel
Yes.
about that?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just-
The hypocrisy.
Oh, for
Basically, he was asking a lot of questions that made them uncomfortable, and Sophie
Yes.
Thatcher's character was the one kind of stepping up and coming back with what she believed. And like I said, the balance between her and Chloe East kind of playing, because you could tell Chloe East was kind of sinking into the couch every time he asked a question, kind of wanting to get out of the conversation. Sophie Thatcher was just kind of coming back at him. I like that whole dynamic in the movie.
Yes, agreed.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Liz.
No, the only thing. No, I'm going to say almost nothing because I don't want to spoil anything because I think everybody should see this movie. But I'll just say that it started off with. I love that the trailer didn't give too much away. I love that I went into this movie basically blind. I love that I didn't read. I never read reviews before we see the movie, the new movie for the show. I never read reviews, and I'm so glad I didn't. Because I'm glad I went in blinded to this because it starts as such a small, simple, one room, one act play concept. And it expands. It's like layers of an onion. and it's expanding more, and it's expanding more, and it's expanding more. And then all of a sudden, it's back to just a simple, well, that makes perfect sense. And I don't want to say why, but it's like, is something supernatural going on or isn't there? But at the end, it's like perfectly wrapped up in a bow. But then at the very end, they give you that beautiful little question, maybe? What if?
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say.
Yeah, man. This is not the movie that I expected that it was going to be. And you know, I say that maybe I'm religious, I don't know, you know? So I like the questions brought up in this movie. And that's kind of what it is. It's a whole lot of movie about questioning of religion. And I may have a little different take on it than you guys do once we get into spoilers. But I'll blow your minds with that in a minute. But I kind of like what they did. I like all the little allegories and all the little subtle nuances. I thought Hugh Grant did an amazing job in this movie. He was so awesome. The other girls were great too. But this was a Hugh Grant movie for sure. Like, he ran the show in this thing, and he killed it in every scene and every line that he did. And this one, this is a movie that had me thinking about it after it was done, you know? Like, I wanted to look up reviews. I wanted to see what people thought about it and things like that. It was a lot of fun, I think. I don't know, man. I like this stuff. It was a good movie. All right, let's go scores and get to spoilers. Brian, what do you think? Steve, my bad.
Okay, so when I review movies, I put them in different categories, right?
Okay.
So The Exorcism of God
Categories.
was over in this
Categories,
category
shall
of
we
like
say.
these shitty
Right.
movies, right? It got
Very
a 9
different
for
category.
shitty movies. Okay? It doesn't stand up against good real movies, you know. This is like more of a real movie. This gets an 8. I think it was really good.
Nice.
But I don't think that it delivered everything that I guess it's just personal preference that I thought I was going to get from the trailer. I wanted to see a little bit more of the weirdness of that house. Like, they make a big deal out of the weirdness of the house, but you're not in a lot of the house. So
Yeah, it's not what I expected,
trying not to get into spoilers.
and it's not a movie for everybody, I think.
But I did like all the talkie. So it gets an
Yeah.
8 for me.
Almost Quentin Tarantino-esque, like a lot of just dialogue stuff.
Less shots of their feet,
talkie,
but
huh?
yes,
Yeah.
a lot of dialogue.
Brian, what do you think?
I'm almost there with Steve. I'm right now. I'm at a 7. I feel like this is a movie that deserves a rewatch because I think out of rewatches you get more out of it. I thought the acting was really good, especially Hugh Grant. But again, I was a little let down because the trailer sold me on a movie that I didn't quite get.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I think if I would have got
Kind
that
of like
aspect,
kind of like Low Lifes, right, Brian?
no, Low Lives. I like that.
That's its own thing.
I like that in Low Lives. I thought one thing, and then they completely pulled the rug out from underneath me and made it this whole
Yes.
other movie. This movie, if I would have got a little bit of what I thought the movie was going to be with what the movie is, I think this movie probably would have been an 8 or 9 for me.
Okay.
Lance, what do you think?
What was your score again, Brian?
I forgot.
You said
already.
7. You said
Okay.
7.
Oh, 7? Okay, so we got an 8 and a 7. All right, Steve, this is you picked a strange night to be on, dude. This is something you guys don't hear from me very often. This isn't quite Mother or Clockwork Orange, guys, but this is a solid 9.5.
Whoa.
This is like one of my favorite films of all time right now. Now, look, I'm only a week away from it. I might change my mind a little bit later. The only thing that drew it back for me a little bit is because you kind of had to suspend disbelief with a couple of plot holes later on,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
particularly in the third act where it got a little bit manic. And if they'd found a way to get around that, I would have given this a 10 all day long. But I fucking love this movie. 9.5. So much deep shit in this movie. But then it's back to just the basic, which I can't say. So
I'm gonna go 8 as well. I think I really enjoyed this one. It had some really good questions. Again, it's not for everybody, but like if I don't know, man, it asks some really good questions, and it's a think piece a little bit. And A24 with Hugh Grant, dude. What more do you want?
except him as an Oompa Loompa, maybe, right?
Yeah.
I ain't seen that yet.
He did great. He did great in that one, even though it was a shitty movie. But
Yeah, yeah, I know.
But dude, I'm loving Hugh Grant and everything that he's doing later in life here.
Yeah, he's having a
Now, Hugh Grant-
renaissance for
What was
sure.
that? The Dungeons and Dragons movie. He was great in that too.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, he was
Fantastic
amazing.
in that movie.
Great villain, great villain.
All right, spoiler talk.
Well,
Oh,
I
boy.
think you should kick us off, Phil, because you were going to blow our minds.
All right.
I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
Well, okay, but I'm blowing your mind based off of assumptions here because I assume that Lance is going to say that this was a case for atheism kind of a movie. Correct?
It was, but then at the very, very end, it wasn't because you saw those two miracles. You
Right.
saw the dead literally rise, right? Or did you, right? Which we've all had an experience like that, where you swear to God that there had to have been something there, and maybe there was, maybe there wasn't, maybe you missaw it, maybe you misremember it, because as Hugh Grant said, we're really only our last memory of something, and then that memory
also-
changes fucking over and over and over again. And then the
Good point.
butterfly landed, or did the butterfly land? And I love the way at the final shot they showed the butterfly, but then they showed her finger with no butterfly.
Was that just
awesome.
that just DMT flashing off in her brain? That's what happens when you die.
Dude, no, I don't think it's a case for atheism at all, because I think it totally leaves the door open. Now, if it had ended up being just that he was a maniac and just that control was the ultimate religion, that was fine for me. That wrapped everything in a neat little box, and I would have been totally happy with that ending. And I would have said, okay, I get it. But then the fact, that's what got it from like a 9 to a 9.5 for me, is that he did leave the door open for a little questioning there at the end. Or that, I say he, I mean they, these two directors. So, you know.
So
not necessarily a case for atheism, Philip.
When
So
he was
now
talking,
he can't blow your mind.
when he was
Great.
no,
No.
not necessarily. So I think when he was talking about his one true religion was control, right?
Well,
But-
she said it, and then he agreed with it. He said, "Yes, you're correct." So
Right.
maybe if she'd said something different, he would have agreed with that. You never know. The dude
Also
was fucking
true.
off his rocker.
However, control sort of works, and he had all this satanic
works
shit down
perfectly.
in his last layer of Dante's Inferno that she finally found, right? You have that allegory in there a lot, and there's all this satanic shit, and the whole satanic principle is do as thou wilt. He's his own god.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So you get very Luciferian about it, and it brings God back into the equation. You can't have the ultimate evil without having the ultimate good, right? So
Absolutely.
I like the questions. I welcome them. I like the whole scene where he was talking about the monopoly stuff and all of the different religions.
Everything's a variation of something that was pre-established, and
exactly. Okay.
But that was all mind manipulation too. He was just mind fucking them the whole time.
Well, right, but
like he came up with random bullshit that may or may not really be that connected, but he made it connect, because you can make coincidences connect if you really
Well, that was
wanted
one of his
to.
points, was that you can make anybody believe anything just by telling them that. He's like, I told you that my wife was
Yeah.
baking a blueberry pie, and you believed me. And I put that candle on there with the label out to let you know that you did that. That's not the truth, but you believed it because I told you it. And like,
Right.
who am I? But you just believe shit.
Just challenging their whole belief system. I like it.
See that? The only thing this movie does for me is go, that's our whole world. Turn on the fucking
Yes.
TV.
Yes.
That's
Definitely.
it. What
Well,
are you,
it is,
all the
and it-
information you get is what somebody else gives you and their version of that information that you're getting, and now you're forming your own opinion and then passing that off to somebody else, and now their version of an event is something that you formed an opinion off of somebody else's opinion. Like, it's not
Right.
it's so far down. By the time you hear something, it's so far away from the actual fucking thing that
Like the
happened.
telephone game, right?
Okay, so here's where I differ from his conclusion in that situation, because he was talking about how all these religions are so very similar to each other. It
Right.
seems like if they were all so very similar to each other, that there would be a story behind that. Maybe there's something to it, right? Maybe
Well,
it's
that's what he
aliens.
was. That's what he
Fuck,
was
I don't know.
manipulating them into believing, right?
Well, no, but I
So-
mean, he was saying things that are real. Like, all of these religions are very similar.
Dude, I did so much fucking fact checking after this movie. I looked fucking everything up that they talked about. The movie law, or the music lawsuit. I looked up all the different gods. I looked up all the different religions. Is there really this story in this one? When she says, "Oh, but that's the virgin birth isn't in the Muslim religion," I looked that up and it's not in there. It's like,
Did
these
you find
dudes are
out
their
if
fucking
Wendy's
fact
is the
checking.
best fast food chain?
I
We don't talk about
absolutely
Taco Bell.
found out
Yeah.
that we don't talk about Taco Bell.
Wendy's is
I
not.
definitely.
Wendy's is
definitely
not the
had
fucking
to,
best fast food chain. I'm
No,
just gonna
it's
put
pretty-
that fire
Yeah.
out right now. Put that to bed. It is not.
It's pretty damn good though. But
It's
no,
good,
I
but it
definitely
ain't the best.
looked up the little birth control device, and that's 100% real.
Doesn't go
Oh
there.
yeah,
Lance.
in your arm up here.
Or right here, wherever.
Yeah.
He
But
was
yeah,
really
no,
digging to get that thing out of there though.
And so yeah, I think if there's all these similarities in all these religions, and there is, that maybe there would be something to it, as opposed to they're all completely made up and bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I always try to think, is that I want to believe so badly that I think, well, the reason that all these religions have so many similarities is because they do stem from a great religion. And I think he was preying
Right.
on that, like them wanting to believe so badly. And most people that come to the Mormon church, from my understanding, like they grew up in a different religion, but they got converted over because they're so aggressive. Well, like he said, they're salespeople, right? Door-to-door
Right.
salespeople. They're so fucking aggressive, pushing their version of this religion. It's
Even
just
their-
insane.
Even their boss, who's out looking for his missing people, like takes a minute to be like, "Hey, while I'm here, you get one of these books." Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
still
And you-
being,
Eric
he's still
Foreman?
pushing the shit. Yeah, he's
That was a
that
great scene,
was
Is
right?
that who that
wasn't
was?
it?
Because he's like,
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if I
Oh
didn't
my god, I
ask.
didn't even.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I was like, he looks so familiar, and you just said,
Yeah.
"That son of a bitch, that was that motherfucker." Topher
See, this
motherfucking
reminded
Grandel.
me of this movie reminded me of Barbarian in a couple of ways, not just like the underground tunnel scenes, but like the way they would throw humor in there, and it
Yeah.
worked every time humor got thrown in there. I thought it worked perfectly. So yeah, that scene, I just thought it was fucking hilarious when he's like, you think he's gonna come back and challenge him, and you're gonna have the guy come in to help save him, or he's gonna hear him or whatever, and then he's like, did you know about the word of Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I liked it too when
Kind of saw that
when-
coming.
when the blonde girl.
Did
I
ya?
liked it when she like laid everything out for you, Grant. Like, nah, this is what happened. Like when we came in, you went out and you friggin' took our
Oh,
bites, and when
yeah.
you came back
That's
in, your
great.
hair was wet, and this and this. I was
Okay.
like, damn. Is she like super smart and just been like
That's what I'm saying.
playing a fool
Well, he
this whole
was.
time and
He
like
noticed
That's where I
everything.
had
He
a little
noticed her
bit of an
scar.
issue,
He
because I
noticed
was
her
like,
scar.
when did this chick become a
It-
super genius?
I know it was a stretch. That was a stretch. That was a stretch.
Suddenly
Did-
she's paying attention to every little detail, because she
Yeah.
wasn't like that earlier.
Did a good
maybe she
amount of time
was.
go? Did a good amount of time go by, because they're out riding bikes door to door, and then next thing you know, it's a winter storm outside.
Snowing. Yeah.
I
that was
think
kinda
that's-
weird.
I
That
think
was
that
surreal.
started as a rainstorm and turned into a snowstorm, and it was the next morning when she escaped.
Oh, so Alaska.
Yeah.
You know how it is,
Yeah.
right, Brian?
Felt at
If
home.
anybody knows.
Yeah. Brian, you should be the only one not questioning the weather in this movie.
All right. Y'all got anything else to say? Brian?
No, I think you guys covered most of what I was going to bring up.
Would you guys all say this movie would like deserve a rewatch? Like, is it one you
Oh,
think you
definitely.
might see new stuff?
Yeah.
I think you will pick up on little things here and there everywhere after you get the whole story of how everything is. And like, I don't think that the girl coming back at the end for her last hurrah was a miracle. We've seen that in every single fucking movie ever made. The person comes back for one last move to
Well,
like
sure,
do
sure.
the thing. But in this one, you know, she had her last little bit of strength to,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it.
Yeah,
I didn't like
She
the
wasn't even
ambiguous
dead.
ending. I was like, give
You
me a
didn't
fucking
like it?
answer. I did.
yeah,
know.
see, I kind of liked it.
Sometimes
I like that
sometimes I
ambiguity at the
like
end.
ambiguity, but like
Right.
I
I
wanted
can
some
understand
finality
that.
to this. Like,
Yeah,
give
I
me a
know.
fucking answer.
Then,
Like I'm not sure I loved the ending, but it also kind of left me questioning, sort of like the rest of the movie. Like
which
like
I like.
his
I like that.
I understood
whole
the reason they did it.
speech with the board games and shit was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And the music, it was just rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then I loved it
And it
because
was
she
like
would
said Jar Jar Binks was going to be the head
Yeah.
of
oh
the new
yeah,
religion.
that was nice,
Because
dude.
that's what it
So
is,
good.
dude. I've known that for a long fucking time, dude.
Yes.
That very first Star Wars: A New Hope, Luke is Jesus. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, when he said Star Wars, I was like,
Yep.
it's like, okay, here we
In
go.
1,000 years,
That rabbit hole.
they're going to be some people are going to be like actually worshiping the Force.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Like, it's
for
going to be a
sure.
real religion. Like, I pledge allegiance to the Force. Like, what the fuck is going to happen?
With their hand over their heart, or no, at that time it's gonna be our hand over our AI screen or our insert, right? Our AI insert, Philip.
We're gonna
we're
be
just-
the aliens, dude. We're gonna become our own gods.
We're just going to be in
That would
bed
be a
all day.
trip.
There's
That
not
would
going to
be
be
a
any
trip.
reason to get up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I love this fucking movie. Y'all ready to sign out?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, where can everybody find the Geeks? Like they don't know, but yeah.
YouTube, look up the Geeks with a Z. Facebook, we're on there. The Geeks. That's pretty much it. You can get us wherever you get your podcasts, but mostly it's YouTube stuff. Alil's been fast and loose with the release schedule, man. I don't know what he's doing.
He'll release like 4 audio shows in one fucking day,
I'm
and
like,
then
"Hello,
nothing for
we-"
8 weeks.
I know, it's the weirdest thing. I'm like, but like he does the releases, and like you guys, like we don't get paid for this shit. So we have a little bit of Patreon people that like give us a little bit of money, but for us, we just like do personal shit with them. You know, it's like you want to do a
right.
movie, like we'll just review a movie with them. You know, that's how we got Lil to finally watch the Eternals.
Oh
A
God.
little Marvel fan never wanted to watch that one because he didn't want to blemish his record, but we finally made him sit down and fucking suffer through that like the rest of us had to.
Garbage fucking
So-
movie, man. I still haven't
Well,
trashed it.
It's not that bad.
It is.
You
Yes,
say,
it
is it really
Terrible.
that bad? I'll
No,
say
it's
it's
awful.
not that bad. But I will say this. I will say this. You were talking about the VHS collection and all that, but you guys do a lot of deep dive into comics
Mhm.
stuff, which is fucking awesome. A lot of collectible stuff, which you don't hear that on every podcast. So
Oh,
some
yeah.
unique things that the Geeks brings. But you got to remember, it's Geeks with a Z. Because
Yes.
that fucked me up.
Geeks with
When
a
I was
Z. Yeah.
Back in the League of Geeks days, I kept trying to fucking look it up, and there was another podcast called The League of Geeks with an S, and it had like 4 episodes and out.
That's
I'm
the
like,
wrong-
I don't
No.
think that's it.
No longevity with those guys. Yeah, Geeks with a Z. And what was the first? What were you talking about before that? I forget.
Talking about the podcast, man.
You were talking
the
about a
YouTube
specific
channel.
show. Oh, the YouTube. I forget. Anyways.
Oh, fuck!
I had a
if
brain
know,
fart.
dude.
It was there and it was gone. It was there, now it's gone.
All
But
right.
yeah,
well,
anywhere you get your podcast, so you can find us. So
all right, and yeah, but mainly YouTube, right? You guys do a lot of interactive stuff, so
yeah,
and that's
Yeah, we-
always Saturday night still.
Saturday nights at 11, Wednesday or 11 East Coast, 8 West Coast, and then Wednesdays are 6 West Coast, 9 East Coast.
And that's the Star Wars shit.
And then we're actually going to start doing a couple new things
All
this
right.
year.
Well, as always, we want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of The Horror Returns. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. You can reach us at thehorrorreturns at gmail.com.
I don't think you can hear us.
Next week, Steve, you're coming back. Is that right?
Can you hear us?
Uh-oh. Philip, can you do the outro?
I think you can. Steve, you want to finish up?
Yeah. We're really quick. So the couple of new things that we're doing is the fight, the Aaron Paul or Logan Paul and
Oh, fantastic.
What's his name? Mike Tyson.
Tyson.
We're gonna be on StreamYard live streaming while that's on, so that we can have some interaction with the audience. And then also whenever our football teams are playing against each other. So when the Bears and Niners play, me and Alila will be on StreamYard as well, commentating on the game and talking shit to each other. So that'll be good fun.
Nice.
So be on the lookout for those.
All right.
And what was he saying?
Next week? Are you joining us again next week?
I guess. Yeah. This was a
Oh,
shocker this week. So
he has to join us next week.
Okay, yeah, because we're doing another one of these fucking Children of the Corn shows.
yeah, we're gonna be into the shitty movie ratings again. Really bad ones.
Children of the Corn, Disciples of the Crow, and Children of the Corn, Runaway, which are movies that I didn't know existed. So until the horror returns again, Brian.
Good night.
All right.
This is the funniest thing ever. I was like, we got a couple of new things, and then he just started talking. And Brian's
Tune in
like,
next week.
Brian's like, wow. That was so funny. Oh my god. You can't hear us still.
Lance, are you there? No, I
Can
can't
you
hear
hear
him
us?
either. I think he's totally gone. He's just laughing at us laughing.
All right. Same time next week, guys.
Yeah,
That works for me.
sounds good to me.
All right, cool.